So with that said, I'm happy to turn it back over to Lauren. And Lauren, if we want to start taking some questions from the audience, whether it's for me or Tucker or Ben or Eileen, I'm sure we'd be happy to answer.
Wonderful. Thank you. At this time, I'm going to start with questions that were written in. Ben, I have a question for you. It's really a two-part question. It is, what data, if any, are you passing between your student information system and Salesforce? Is the data passing in one direction or only or continuous? And what tool are you using for the integration? So it's really a three-part question, Ben.
You betcha. Right now, because our current student information system, most of the applications that we have when students do their applications goes directly into it. What we do is we simply export a daily batch in Excel of the applications that we have that we received the day before, and we just simply import those into Enrollment RX. So as far as the data going back and forth, because we're somewhat segmented institutionally, and on the admission side, that's basically what we end up using most of that for. Right now, there's a couple different ways that we can import via, using the Enrollment RX or the Salesforce, wizards. But one of the things we really wanted to do was be able to have the ability to do some live manipulation of data as it's coming in and out. And the folks at Enrollment RX were able to hook us up with a nice little add-on tool called Demand Tools that has allowed us to do that. So really it's pretty much one way right now, but we have certainly the ability and functionality to do something much more integrated. On our website, we do integrate with all of our inquiry forms. So if a student fills out an inquiry form requesting information, that does integrate directly with Enrollment RX, goes in, creates a lead, and we're able to use that seamlessly.
Great. And if I can just add to what Ben mentioned there, as far as integration goes, I mean, certainly with every one of our clients, integration with their student information system is a key issue. We always provide that integration service. We never want you keystroking data in, of course, from one system to the other. The type of integration really can run the gamut of simple integration to more complex integration. Salesforce has an open API. We can do web calls out to the leading student information systems. We can also leverage middleware technology out there as well to facilitate that integration. We can create real-time two-way integration. Anytime one system is updated, it's going to update the other system and vice versa. So really, integration is not a problem for us, and we do have a successful experience integrating with the leading student information systems on the market.
Great. I have another question for Ben. Are you collecting application data in Salesforce, or are you using a separate system for online applicants?
You betcha. All of our application data right now goes into the SIS we utilize is an older Genzabar product that Genzabar purchased, and right now everything goes directly into our SIS, and that was something that admissions we really wanted to be able to bring that into Enrollment RX, and as Lauren said, that certainly was feasible, and we could do a full integration with our SIS. Our IT staff, they're somewhat interested in maintaining their own territory, if you will. They're somewhat territorial, so in that aspect, then they decided they really wanted to keep the applications on that side. But we're moving closer. They've been really impressed with what we've been able to do on our side, and they've been really, that's why they're kind of opening up their doors to being able to do more with other departments.
Great. And if I can just, again, add to that, Ben, that we have clients that are doing it like how Kali College is doing it, and we also have clients that are leveraging our applicant portal and our student portal environment where they are logging in and first applying through our portal. Everything's feeding into Enrollment RX and all being managed within Enrollment RX. So it just doesn't depend on the client.
All right. And this question may be similar to what has been asked, but I will, if we have it here. How does the data in Salesforce Enrollment RX interface with the college's student information system? This is coming from a DataTel school. We use Salesforce on a minimal level, but when we want to create a funnel report, we have a manual process of identifying which prospects actually enrolled.
This is Tucker McLean. I can take a stab at answering that, and I'm happy for others to chime in as well. But as Lauren said, we've got a very robust set of web services APIs. So we've a number of different schools and universities are doing various types of integration. As Ben mentioned, they're using demand tools, which is a pretty lightweight and very user-friendly application. For transforming and extracting and loading data into and out of Salesforce. We also have a number of higher ed clients that are using a couple of different more robust middleware integration applications, one of which is called Cast Iron. It's now a division, or it's owned by IBM, and we've got a couple clients that are using Cast Iron that integrate with Banner. So I don't know about DataTel specifically, although I would assume it would be a similar type of integration where they're able to pipe pretty much any of the data that they have in their SIS into Salesforce via Cast Iron, and that is a two-way integration. And the benefit of that is they can very quickly and rapidly deploy very niche applications that may be dependent on certain sets of data that they'd be able to pipe into Salesforce through Cast Iron. Another one that's used quite commonly, and actually was a lot of the members of the team came from SunGard and formerly SCT. That organization is called Boomi, and they basically are a cloud-based middleware application that recently was acquired by Dell. So it's Dell's Boomi product that is used quite commonly. Beyond that, there's a native Salesforce application called the Data Loader, where you can schedule batch data loads through that. And then there are also additional options using one of the many toolkits, depending on what your development environment is, whether it's a .NET environment, a Java environment, Ruby's on Rails, so on and so forth.
Great. And Tucker, this is Lawrence. If I can just invite Mark Satin, our VP of Higher Ed Solutions, just to speak very briefly on specifically our experience with integrating with DataTel. So Mark, if you can just share some of that.
Yeah, I mean, obviously besides the ETL solutions that Tucker's mentioned, some of the native integration, specifically with DataTel, what we like to leverage is some web service integration, and specifically utilizing DataTel's ELF system for electronically transferring data with their web server as well. So we had great success without leveraging some of those middleware solutions.
That's it.
Okay, great. Any other comments from our panel or presenters on that question? All right, I have another question that's been written in. Is how is data migration from old systems handled?
Sure. So this is Lawrence, and I can address that initially, is that as part of our deployment and implementation, we always provide data migration services. So we will work with you to extract the data from your legacy system, clean it up, put it in a format that is necessary, then to upload it into our system. Obviously, we're going to customize our product and the platform to provide a place for that data to live. And then we either leverage the native Salesforce data loader tools, or even CRM demand tools and other partner products out there to upload that data into the system.
All right, I have another question that's been written in, and this is for Ben. How many employees does Cowley College have, and what other departments can use this system, and is it used for complete student enrollment through and including graduation and placement?
All right, great series of questions there. We have 127 employees organizationally. We only utilize right now, we're on the smaller end that Lawrence was talking about earlier, where we've got 5 to 6 licenses right now that we utilize. And right now we use it only on the only on the admissions and recruitment side of things. And we would personally, from our department, we would love to see it expanded out, and I might let Lawrence visit a little bit more about some of the other options that they can do, but right now we're using it just on the admission side.
Yeah, thanks, Ben. I mean, we definitely have, many of our clients are leveraging it just for enrollment management, just for admissions. We've also built out other solutions, one called Placement RX for career services. It's a great system to manage externship, internship, job site development, job placement, as well as Alumni RX for alumni relationship management, fundraising, event management, and so forth. And then we've actually also built a product called StuTrans, which is our end-to-end student information system, all built on Force.com, but really does extend the product out to registrations and academic plans and grade books and all of the things that you would see in the typical traditional student information system. So that's how some of our clients are using the product and the platform overall. But of course, Ben mentioned that Cali, they're using it for admissions specifically.
I'm going to jump back in for 1/2 second, only to mention that I did forget to mention that we're now utilizing it for our international student recruitment and tracking once they're here. And that's been a big thing for us too, because now we're able to then take copies of their international documents, upload them into Enrollment RX, and retain those not only while they're a prospect, but while they're ongoing at the college as well. That's a big thing we're working on right now.
All right, great. I do see that we are at 2 o'clock. We are out of time. I do have several other questions that people have written in regards. Some would like to really know some idea of the cost or licensing, and are some of the questions that we have at this point. And what I'm wondering, Lawrence, if we can have folks contact you directly at your email address at levy@enrollmentrx.com. This webinar will be available very shortly on the EduOne World website. It has been recorded. I would like to thank everyone for joining us today, and I hope that this has been very informative and thought-provoking presentation for you. By your questions, I can see that it is. And we will keep these questions and get back to you for those that we weren't able to address here at the end of our presentation. And lastly, I do want to thank all of you for attending and participating today and for your support of EduOne World. At this point, this concludes our webinar. And once again, I'd really like to thank all of you for your time and your participation. Have a great day.
Thank you.